Hi all, making a very short garden video. It's March 15th. Ides of March. Ides of March. Yes. Um, oh, and yeah, Reggie's sitting in front of the fan right here on his little heating mat. He loves that thing. I gotta leave it in here or else he'll lie on the plants like he gets vindictive. But I'm in the middle of potting stuff up and planting new seeds and stuff, so just give a quick idea of what it looks like for me when I'm kind of starting the planning out the season and the amount of space I have to start seeds. So first row over here. Yes, meow. Roo. Yeah, you're a good boy. He's my little garden buddy. This tray right here is where I had these two trays full of different kinds of seeds, and I've moved the ones that haven't sprouted yet over to this side, left the ones that have, sorry, other way around. The ones that have mostly sprouted over here, the ones that haven't sprouted there, and I'm debating whether I'm going to treat them much differently. There are a few things I can do to try and like raise the temperature a little bit or change the watering to see if I can get them to sprout a little better. Got a little bit of algae on everything. I do every year, mostly because I'm lazy with watering. Like I'm not as focused on getting everything perfect. I'm focused on getting as much as I can up with as little work as possible. But yeah, so we got these pots here are the slow growing herbs. I think we've got basil in one, which is intended for my baby green garden, and then rosemary and I want to say parsley. I can't remember exactly. Wildflowers. That over there is milkweed. This is the first time I've ever gotten milkweed to grow. I grew it in one of these pots and then separated everything out into individual pots, and I only wanted 12, so that's as many as I took. I think I had about 20 that germinated. These are, well, onions and peppers. Excuse me, buddy. This is the pepper side, and then a couple over here with a little bit of green on them. Those are ones that I thought needed to go back on a heat mat. The heat mat under this is on right now, but this is mostly peppers that I just planted today. Oop. I've got 8 different kinds of peppers so far. And then this is how I plant out my onions. I just start them all in these bigger pots. Each onion packet that I get from Baker Creek has about 300 seeds. So broken out into 9 little 3x5, 3.5 by 3.5 by 5 cups. And then they're going to grow out of there, and onion roots are real easy to split apart, but having them in these pots instead of in one big tray like this makes it a little bit more manageable, and you damage the roots a little bit less, and it's easier to give away chunks that you're not going to use, stuff like that. Meow, meow, meow. This is what I'm working on this evening. Transplanting these up. These are lupins. These are lavender. But I need to replant lavender, so potting this up, going to have it ready and well rooted. Kind of slow to start plant, but going to have it well rooted by, about Mother's Day, maybe a week before. I'd say 2 weeks before, so start of May is when I need to start hardening them off, but I'm on track for those. These were pea shoots that I was trying to grow. They didn't grow very well. They're real patchy. There was something wrong with how I was doing them. I'm not entirely sure, but so I'm leaving this here, trying to see it if I put the humidity dome, if any more of the peas on top will germinate. If not, I'm 50-50 between whether I'm going to toss that in the compost pile or try and plant it outside. Peas can usually handle frost, so I just have to harden it off. And then over here has been one of my more successful experiments. These are daikon radish shoots. I'm putting this is the second growing out of the second, I want to call it flush because I like mushrooms, but the second cutting out of this tray. The first cutting got to be about 5 inches tall or so, but the leaf tops were only this tall. It turned out really good. Well, there was a bunch of extra seed that had gotten choked out by the first round because it was really thick. I seeded this incredibly thickly. So I cut down the first round and saw it started to regrow almost immediately. So I gave it a couple days to get the tops going, and then I'm putting it, just today I started light depriving it because, that's the cord. Started light depriving it because I want it to grow really long tender shoots, like long tender stems. So this is a way to get it to focus its energy on growing the stems instead of trying to grow out the leaves and develop the plant. And then last over here, this is something I'm doing new this year, because I have the space and I got itchy and I didn't start my plants as early as I usually do because I always get them root bound and that's not good. Like I always start them too early every year. So here we have arugula. Here we have perpetual spinach, which is a kind of chard, regular spinach, and lacinato kale, and then this is also going to be kale. And then I have some, over here I have some lettuce and kale seeds and shiso leaves, and I think some amaranth, I don't know, some other little greens to stick over here for spring salads. Just getting them about a month before it's time to put them outside. Lighting, 110 watt and then 3 220 watt lights. This is way more than what you need. This is just because I do this all the time and this is my hobby and I love it. But this is what the whole thing looks like. I have usually a total of room for about 12 1020 trays. Right now I'm using 9. So the last 3 are really going to be taken up with my tomatoes, tomatillos. I'm going to do eggplant this year, and basil and things like that. For the heat mats and all the money I've dumped into the system and the amount of attention I spend on it, I can usually cut about 2 to 3 weeks off what the back of the seed pack says, about 2 weeks. So that means that I usually plant my tomatoes and basil about 5 or 6 weeks before planting date instead of the 6 to 8 that is usually recommended on the back of the seed pack. Yeah, 5. Really, I could get away with 4 pretty easily because the seeds germinate in almost no time with these mats. They love it. So that's how I start seeds. That's what my tent looks like right now. I'm going to keep going at it. I pot up to different size pots depending on what the plant is and kind of how fast or slow I want it to grow. And yeah, oh, the last thing, these tree pots. These are a foot long and 3 inches by 3 inches wide, I think. Yeah, like 3 by 3 by 12. This is a new experiment for me. It's a way to get a whole bunch of volume for soil, to let the plants try and get a little bigger root system for growing inside while still maintaining a really tight footprint. So give it about 2 weeks and these are going to be grown just tight, the leaves overlapping each other, and I'm going to have to cut it back on a regular basis in order to keep it not choking itself out and diseasing the rest of the room, which is why I haven't done this before. But using these bigger pots is to try and get bigger, thicker plants, so when I cut them down, they'll regrow faster, like the bigger root system lets it take stuff up easier. Yeah, that's what I got. So I will make another video at some point later. Probably going to be a couple more weeks, and the rest of this weekend's project is prepping the soil in the annual bed, trying to clean out some weeds, and then once I get around to it, fertilizing with blood meal and broad forking blood meal. And have a good one, all. Happy Ides of March, I think. Beware the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March.